Your brain is a time machine, and this is how it works. Ever been in a scary situation where a single second felt like it stretched into a minute? Or blinked and realized an entire summer just flew by? We're all told time is a constant, a cosmic river flowing at 1 second per second. Always. But what if that's not the whole story? What if your personal experience of time, stretching, shrinking, even seeming to stop, isn't just a feeling, but a clue to how reality actually works? The truth is, we don't just perceive time. Our brains literally build it. And that means the most powerful time machine in the universe isn't some sci-fi fantasy. It's the 3-pound lump of gray matter between your ears. This is the story of how your consciousness bends time and how understanding it can change everything. Section 1. The grand illusion of time. Ever since we learned to read a clock, we've bought into the idea that time is this external thing, ticking away, completely indifferent to us. It's the ultimate boss, marching on no matter what. But this whole concept, as solid as it feels, might just be a grand illusion our brain is spinning. Think about that weird feeling that time speeds up as you get older. A childhood summer felt like an eternity of endless days. Now you're lucky if you remember what you had for breakfast last Tuesday. So, is time itself hitting the fast-forward button? Of course not. What's changing is the machine that's perceiving it. Your brain. Neuroscientist David Eagleman points out that when you're a kid, almost everything is new. Your brain is working overtime, gobbling up all this novel information and creating super-rich, detailed memories. So when you look back, the sheer density of that data makes it feel like it lasted longer. This one simple experience is our first big clue that we're not just passively watching a clock. We're actively creating time with our attention and our memory. Section 2. The brain's many clocks. So, if your brain is the one telling time, where's the clock? Well, that's the fascinating part. There isn't just one. Your sense of time is a property that emerges from all the ridiculously complex stuff happening in your neural wiring. Your brain uses a whole toolkit of timers, from the microsecond calculations needed to figure out where a sound is coming from, to the circadian rhythms that tell you when to sleep and when to wake up. On a chemical level, things like dopamine and serotonin are constantly tweaking your internal tempo. This is why stimulants can make you feel like the world is moving in fast forward, while other substances might slow it down. Caffeine, for example, blocks receptors in the brain that make you feel tired, which can indirectly influence your dopamine system and make you feel like your internal clock is ticking just a bit faster. But maybe the most important timekeeper is what neuroscientist Dean Buonamano calls mental time travel. This is our uniquely human ability to remember the past and imagine the future. Our brains are basically prediction machines using old memories to guess what's coming next. So, our experience of time isn't just about measuring seconds, it's about your brain building a coherent story about reality. Section 3. Time under duress, the trauma effect. Nowhere does the brain's talent for building time become clearer than in moments of pure terror. People who survive things like car accidents often say that time slowed to a crawl, letting them see the event in horrifyingly sharp detail. For a long time, this was a puzzle. Was the brain actually hitting a turbo button? Research suggests it's a trick of memory. During a life-threatening event, the amygdala, your brain's little emotion and fear hub, goes completely haywire. This red alert state basically screams at the rest of your brain, "Pay attention. Remember all of this." The result is an incredibly dense, detailed memory. Later, when you replay that memory, there's just so much more information to get through, more frames in the mental movie. It's this richness of data that creates the feeling that the event lasted way longer than it actually did. Trauma can also have a more lingering effect, shattering the linear story of our lives. It can make the past feel like it's constantly ambushing the present and make the future feel impossible. It shows just how fragile our sense of time really is and how tied it is to our emotional health. Section 4. The dissolution of time, the psychedelic experience. If trauma can stretch and shatter time, some substances can make it dissolve entirely. For thousands of years, cultures have used psychedelics like psilocybin and LSD, which often trigger profound shifts in consciousness, including the complete distortion of time. People frequently report a feeling of timelessness, where the past, present, and future all melt into one, eternal now. And science is finally starting to get why. These compounds mess with the brain's serotonin system and dramatically alter the activity of key brain networks, especially one called the default mode network, or DMN. The DMN is what's running when you're daydreaming, thinking about yourself, or reminiscing about the past. In other words, it's a key architect of your personal timeline. By taking this network temporarily offline, psychedelics can trigger ego dissolution, where your sense of being a separate self just fades away. And when the self dissolves, its timeline dissolves with it. Time doesn't just speed up or slow down, the very idea of it can become meaningless. It's a powerful, if jarring, peek behind the curtain at how our consciousness builds the reality we take for granted. Section 5. Finding the zone, the flow state. But you don't need a near-death experience or a heroic dose of mushrooms to play with time. You do it all the time. Ever been so lost in an activity, playing music, coding, running, anything, that the world just disappears? You look up and realize hours have gone by in what felt like minutes. Welcome to the flow state. Psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi defined flow as being so completely absorbed in what you're doing that nothing else matters. Neurologically, it's wild. During flow, your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that houses your inner critic and tracks time, takes a little nap. Scientists have a great name for this: transient hypofrontality. With your inner narrator silenced, your brain can pour all its resources into the task. At the same time, it's getting a bath of feel-good chemicals like dopamine and anandamide, which keeps you blissfully focused. The result? Your awareness of yourself, and by extension your awareness of time, just fades. Time flies when you're having fun, because the part of your brain that's supposed to be watching the clock is on its lunch break. Section 6. The Grand Unification. Consciousness as the Time Lord. So, what does all this mean? A car crash stretches time out like taffy. A great conversation makes it vanish. A psychedelic journey can stop it cold. Each of these states radically changes how we experience time, simply by changing the state of our brain. The conclusion is kind of revolutionary. Time, as you experience it, isn't a fixed feature of the universe. It's a story written by your mind. Your brain takes the chaotic flood of information from your senses and organizes it into a neat, flowing narrative we call time. It's a creative process that weaves together memory, attention, and emotion. This puts your consciousness right in the driver's seat. The state of your mind directly shapes your reality of time. Your brain isn't just in time. Your brain is your time machine. Section 7. Echoes in the cosmos. And here's where it gets really weird. This strange, flexible reality our brains are creating is bizarrely mirrored in some of our most fundamental theories of the universe. Our gut tells us the past is gone and the future isn't written yet. But a view in physics known as eternalism, or the block universe theory, suggests something else entirely. While it's a philosophical interpretation and still heavily debated by physicists, this theory proposes that the past, present, and future all exist simultaneously in a static, four-dimensional block of space-time. In that model, the flow of time we feel so deeply is just a stubborn illusion created by our human perspective. Could it be that in those rare moments, in trauma, in flow, in a mystical experience, our normal storytelling brain gets disrupted and we catch a fleeting glimpse of that deeper, timeless reality? Is the brain, in its altered states, seeing the world as it truly is, without the timeline it usually imposes? We don't know for sure, but the parallels are too juicy to ignore. It suggests the deepest mysteries of our own minds, and the deepest mysteries of the cosmos might just be two sides of the same coin. This journey into your mind shows that you're not just a passenger being dragged along by the river of time. You're the one shaping the riverbanks. Your focus, your emotions, your state of mind, These are the tools you use to sculpt your experience of time. If this look inside your own inner time machine blew your mind a little, make sure you subscribe for more adventures into science and consciousness, and hit that like button to help other people discover the power they have locked inside their own heads. Now, tell us in the comments, what's the strangest thing time has ever done for you? The final takeaway isn't just that your brain is a time machine, it's that you can learn to operate it. By seeking out novelty and chasing states of flow, you can change your relationship with the clock. You can travel through your past with new insight and build your future with more intention. Time isn't your master, it's your canvas.